Today I'm going to share with you how I went from being a broke and depressed university student and slaving away in the matrix to making multiple tens of thousands of dollars and scaling a six-figure agency in just a matter of months. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Stefan Van de Vlasiker. I'm currently 21 years old and I started my whole entrepreneurial journey, well, you could say a couple years ago, but realistically I didn't ever launch my first ever business until honestly right around this year last time. And so a year ago today, or we'll say a year ago in a month today, I was enslaving away in school. I was in university. I was working a 9 to 5 at the bank every single day, going to university, and I hated every single second of it. I didn't enjoy a single second I was there. I hated the people around me. I hated the things I was learning. I hated my life. I ended up taking multiple different pills. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't eat. I wasn't happy. I was, by all metrics, I was actually diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety, and my life was heading downhill. For somebody who had a 4.0 GPA and who had straight A's and who was on the Dean's Honor List and who was doing well by society's metrics, it was strange because I didn't feel that I was doing well, and inside I wasn't doing well. I wasn't doing good at all. My mental health was spiraling downhill. I didn't know where I was headed, and I was going down a path I didn't like, doing something I didn't want to do, and that's when I decided to make a change. And so that's when me and one of my good friends, Dylan, partnered up and decided we're going to escape the matrix. Okay, we're going to say fuck all of this, and we're going to start a drop shipping company. Because you know why? Because everybody says that drop shipping is the way to make millions. And so we tried that. And we tried it for exactly 30 days. And you want to know what happened? Well, probably not what you think, because that's not where the story ends. I lost thousands of dollars drop shipping. Now, how could it get any worse than this? Could it get any worse? Does it get any worse? We'll find out. But I lost over thousands of dollars drop shipping. Now, am I saying drop shipping is bad? Drop shipping is bad? No. And that's not what the story is about. This is the story of how I went from being a nobody to, well, a little less of a nobody, because I'm still nowhere where I want to be. But that's when, I joined this private networking group filled with successful, ambitious, hungry young entrepreneurs, and I saw other people just like me, except the only difference was they were making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more than me, and I was like, there's no difference between me and these guys. The only difference is they just put in the work and they stayed consistent. And so that's when I started my own branding agency and actually became the founder and the CEO of this branding agency called V2V Visions that obviously I founded. And that company actually scaled to six figures in just a matter of months. I brought on a few huge clients. One of my first clients paid me $2.3K a month, and he had over 240,000 followers on Instagram. I signed a huge whale as one of my first clients, and from there on out it only started spiraling up. And so we're going to backtrack to give you my thought process and how I did this, but that's a story. And then I guess to fast forward to now, I ended up scaling that branding agency up to 10K a month. I went and I joined a coaching program to help other young entrepreneurs start and scale their own companies, and I helped hundreds of people sign their first or next SMMA clients. I ended up parting ways with them, and now me and Andres are partnering up, and we just founded a new company, which is a growth partner agency, which is helping real estate agents blow the fuck up out of their business so they can make a ton more money, and we can too. And this is a totally different business model. We're taking a long-term approach. That is where I'm currently at. I cut off all my income sources to go all in on this and play it for the long run, because I think this is the best vehicle to make me a millionaire, and so that's what I'm doing currently as we speak. But let's backtrack to give you a bit of insight on how I did this. How did I sign my first client? How did I escape the matrix? How did I turn my life around from being depressed and broke and anxiety and having eating disorders, not being able to sleep, to being what I would define as the happiest person that I know inside of my entire network, one of the happiest individuals that I know, by seemingly sitting inside all day. And so I guess the thought process behind this is if you are a young kid, or you're a student, or you're somebody who doesn't feel like you're where you want to be, I can promise you, man, this isn't the end, right? Every superhero goes through these chapters of getting knocked down and getting beat up and getting pounced down to the ground time and time and time again. But the movie doesn't end there. The chapter doesn't end there. The story doesn't end there. It may be just one chapter in your book, but hey, don't let one chapter define your entire story. It's just one chapter. You have so much more to give. And so every superhero gets beat down to the ground to the point where they're about to give up, to the point where everything is about to collapse, but they never give in, and they never, ever, ever give up. They never give up, and they always make a comeback. So man, right now you may be at that bottom point in your life. You may be where right now everything seems hopeless and you've lost all hope. But look at any superhero movie. That's how every superhero movie is they've always got to the bottom of rock bottom. They've always made it down to the bottom, but they always make it back up. So don't let this present moment, your feelings in this present moment, define who you're going to be for the rest of your life, because man, you got so much more to give. And if you don't believe in yourself, drop me a follow, because I sure believe in you and I want to make something great happen together. So follow me along, because I will inspire you. That is my goal with this YouTube channel, is to inspire you to become the best version of who you are, because man, you have so much more potential ahead of you. You have so much more to give, and I know that because I was in your very position. I was exactly where you are, in the sense of I wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't feel like I had reached my potential. As a matter of fact, I still don't. I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't content. Nothing was going well. And I thought it was the end. I thought it was over. I didn't know how to make it out. I felt hopeless. But there's one thing I didn't do. I didn't give up. I just kept pushing through. I knew if I just did this long enough, over time and time again, eventually I'd make it out. And it happened rather fast for me, and that's kind of what I want to share a bit of today on, is how I did that, to inspire you guys to do it as well. Because man, I went from being broke and depressed and literally being diagnosed with depression and anxiety and having eating disorders, not being able to sleep, and visiting the doctor's office multiple times per month, to living a happy and fulfilled and purposeful life. Every single day I wake up with purpose and with fulfillment and with enjoyment in what I do. And yes, every day isn't easy. Yes, there's some days where I struggle. As a matter of fact, most days I struggle. They're tough. But man, I love it, because I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm loving what I do, because I live a purpose-filled life. I live a life where I know where I'm headed. I'm dictating my future. The best way to predict your future is to create it. And so I'm creating my own future. And that's why I love what I do. I live a purposeful, meaningful life, and I feel like that's what everybody chases in life. We all want money, right? Everybody wants money. Why do people want money? Well, people want money so they can have freedom, so they can buy back their time. What do people want to do with that time? They want to do the things they love so they can live a purposeful, meaningful life. And man, I already do it before the money comes, so I'm already winning. And that's my goal for all of you, is to live a life where you can feel like you're winning before the money's even come in. Because man, let me tell you, waking up every single day and loving what you do is the biggest blessing you could ever ask for. Because work doesn't feel like work. It feels like enjoyment. It feels like fulfillment. It feels like you're living a purposeful life, doing something you were meant to do, making an impact, inspiring other people. And man, it's the best thing I could have ever asked for. Okay? It's the best thing I could have ever asked for. And that's what I hope for all you to do. And so I guess a bit of thought process onto what I did to shift my life around is I started to change my identity. I started to change my identity every single day. Instead of telling myself I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that, I said, no, I'm happy. I'm the man. I'm happy. I'm driven. I'm disciplined. Instead of saying I'm not disciplined, I'm lazy, I'm like, I'm a productive man. I'm going to be a man. I'm not going to be a little boy anymore. I'm going to take care of my people. I'm going to provide for other people. I want to inspire people. I'm going to be happy. I would literally wake up. I kid you not. I'm not fucking around here. I kid you. I would wake up right here in this very bedroom. I would wake up, and the first thing I would do is I would go to my kitchen. I would start playing Michael Bublé, "It's a Beautiful Day," right? You guys all know that song. Can't play it because I get copyrighted, but I would play that song. And I would blast it on the speakers, like blast it. When I'm talking, like I live in an apartment building, probably everybody could hear it, but I would start blasting this song, and I would start dancing around in my fucking kitchen. I would go into the mirror, and I'd be like, bro, I love you. And I would just start waking up, having good mornings. And man, it started to change my life. I started to look at everything. I started to appreciate everything that I had in my life. I started to appreciate every little thing. I started to appreciate my family more. I started to be grateful for what I had. I started to be grateful and thank God for the fact that I had food in my fridge, clean water that I could drink out of it, and a comfy bed I could sleep in, a roof over my head that I could wake up in. Man, I started to be grateful. My life started to change and change and change and change and change. I started to become a better person. I started to become happier. As a matter of fact, I cut off the pills. I said, fuck the pills. I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm not letting some external force dictate how I'm going to live my life, and I haven't since. And ever since that day, my life has never been better. Ever since that day, my life has never. I started to take control. I started to take charge. I did not let other people tell me how I should or could live my life. I started to live my life on my own terms. I started to work for myself, literally. I started to make my own businesses. I started to make my own decisions. Choose when I wake up. Choose when I go to bed. Choose the food I eat. Choose what I do. And that's what we all wish we could do, is make up our own life. And I'm happy to say that I can finally do that. And I choose to work every day because I love it. And it's not even work. It's fucking fun, man, because I enjoy this process. But it wasn't always that way. It wasn't always waking up happy. And so I know from personal experience, the last thing you can do when you feel so down is get up and work. I know. Trust me, I've been there. It's one of the hardest things to do is to get up and work and to strive towards your goals when all hope seems lost. But I can promise you, man, as long as you don't give up, there's still hope. And you can still keep moving forward. And all you gotta do is just take one step at a time. It sounds so cliche, and that it is. But man, that's because it works. One step at a time, one foot in front of another. Just keep moving. If you just keep moving, you can't give up. If you just keep moving, you can never fail. If you keep moving, you can never fail. So all you gotta do is just keep taking a step. Just every single day, keep taking a step. And then focus on taking bigger steps and more efficient steps and better steps. And eventually you'll start to get on the spiral of just going up and up and up and up and up because you keep walking and you don't give up. As long as you don't stop walking, you can never fail. And that's the exact approach I took. I started to change my life around. Like, I literally flipped my life upside down. Now listen, I never did drugs, any of that to begin with, okay? But let's say you did. Cut that shit out. I cut out the drugs. I never did drugs or alcohol, so I can't say I cut that out because I never did it, okay? But I cut out hanging out with friends. I cut off most of my friends. I burned my boats. I quit my job. I dropped out of university. I started to burn all the bridges and just say it's plan A or nothing. I'm going all in or I die. I don't give a fuck. I'll either make it there or I'll die trying. There's no other option. Because what is a life when you're living for somebody else? What is a life living for somebody else's dreams? There's no point in that. Well, what is life when you're building somebody else's dreams? That's not a life I personally want to live. And I reckon if you're watching my videos, that probably isn't a life you want to live either. And so you want to live life on your own terms. And so start doing that. Start taking control. Stop letting external factors or forces dictate how you want to feel. And even if you do feel bad, do not let your feelings impact what you're going to do. Because listen, the output that you want, the dream outcome you want, is defined by the work you do, not by how you feel. And it just so happens to be that you don't feel like doing the work, but the work is the only thing that's going to get you to where you want to go. And so do not let your feelings dictate whether you do or do not do the work, because the outcome you want is dictated by the work you do, not by the feelings you feel. And so you just got to do the work in order to get to where you want to go. And that's always going to be the case. There's days where I still don't feel like doing the work. There's days where I don't feel like waking up in the morning and the first thing I want to do is work. There's days where I don't want to do that. Now listen, it's getting a lot better and better because I'm enjoying the process, but I'd be lying if I said if every single day I crave doing this. Because you would be crazy, and well, that I am. But there's going to be days where it's tough, but it's those days where you just be like, man, I'm just going to do it. I'm just gonna work at it because I know it's what I have to do. It's not a matter of, I feel like doing it. No. It's like, I know I have to do this. If I want to go to where I want to go, I have to do this. And so there's no questions asked. I'm just gonna do it. But let's backtrack to the sadness, because I know that maybe one of the biggest things people are living with is this sort of sadness inside of them. And man, if I can tell you one thing, it's just live on your own terms. I mean, fuck, there's probably a million things I could say right now. But if I could just say one thing, it's like, dude, just do your thing. Like, stop letting external forces, stop letting other people dictate how you feel. Stop letting other people hold you back from starting that business. Don't let somebody tell you can't. Don't let people tell you that. Do it. Believe in yourself. All you gotta have is belief in yourself. There's so many people, even my parents, man. I don't know, Stefan, I'm not sure if this is the best decision. Right? And I understand. I understand why they said that, because it's scary and they just want the best for their kids, and I don't blame them. But man, I know there's more to me than just working at a bank or working in a 9 to 5. I know there's so much more. And so I knew I had it in me. I just had to prove that. Okay? I just had to prove that. And so I just woke up every single day. I started to change my identity. I started to change who I was. I started to change who I listened to. I started to change the music I listened to. I started to change the people I watch. I started deleting social media apps. Okay, I deleted Snapchat, deleted TikTok, deleted Instagram, I deleted all the apps. I only allowed positive things in my life. You know how Tate says he doesn't believe in depression? He quoted on later to say that it's not that he doesn't believe in depression for people in general, as depression as a whole. He doesn't believe in depression for himself. That's the approach I started to take. I stopped believing in depression. I stopped believing in sadness. And guess what happened? I could only be happy, because if you don't believe in something, it cannot happen to you. If somebody does not believe in ghosts, whether there's a ghost in their room or not, they don't believe in it, therefore the ghost cannot be real to them. right? You define your reality by what you believe in. Your reality is defined by your beliefs. Your beliefs dictate your own life. And so if you believe you can be sad, then you can be sad. If you believe that you cannot be sad, then you cannot be sad because you do not believe in it. And so I stopped believing in depression. And man, it changed my life around. I'm happy now. I love what I do. I fucking wake up excited to jump to work. Excited to get, most days not, but in the cold shower. Excited to talk to people. Excited to make these videos. Excited to sit down behind my desk and work for 12, 14, 16 hours in a day. I get excited for that. What the fuck? And now when I go outside, I enjoy life so much more. I start to appreciate little things. Little things like the fact that I'm able to drink cold water in the morning. Little things like the fact that I'm able to open my window and have cold air seep through. Little things like the fact that I have multiple pillows I can grab to sleep on. Pillows. Okay? The fact that I have good water and good water bottles. The fact that I have a computer that I'm able to work on. The fact that I have 2 computers. The fact that I have blue light glasses to make me feel like, the fact that I have a supporting and loving family. Like, man, there's so many things that I can be grateful for. The fact that the trees outside are blowing, that the wind is blowing, that the sun is shining through, that the clouds are moving, that the mountains are, man, there's so many things to be grateful for. And this really started to compound when I changed my identity of who I was. And this allowed me to make thousands of dollars, more than I've ever made in my life. I made more in a day than what I made in a whole month working at the bank. Isn't that crazy? In one day, I made more from my own business than I did in a whole month of working at the bank. That's fucked up. That's crazy. In one day, I made 2.3K. A whole month working at the bank, I only made 2.2K exactly. In one day, I made more than what I made in the whole month working at the bank. Because of this. Now listen, the first few months, I didn't make any money. It was tough, and that's the reality. People were like, oh, scaled to 10K in the first 2 days. That's not the reality of this, right? But I'm here to tell you that if you're here to build something bigger, and you're here to live a purposeful, meaningful life, this is the path you got to take. And let me be an example of anything can be done. You just have to dictate your own life. You have to be the you are the creator, you are the producer, you are the editor, you are the director, and you're also the main character of your own movie. So you get to choose what happens. You get to choose whether you stay down or stand up. You get to choose whether you rise up or fall down. You get to choose whether you make a change from where you are now or where you want to go. You get to dictate all those things. You, not anybody else, and do not let anybody else dictate those things, because you should be the sole person dictating your life, and that you are. So take control, take charge. Do not allow these negative thoughts to creep in your head. Only allow the positive ones. The ones that make you excuse me, okay? The ones that make you want to seek more. The ones that inspire you. The ones that bring out the best in you, the ones that motivate you. Those are the thoughts you should have in your head. Literally change everything. I changed my environment. Now listen, I know you can't physically change where I live, and that I didn't. But instead of watching shitty YouTube videos, I would watch good ones. Instead of listening to shitty, depressing, demonic music, I would listen to happy, positive, uplifting music. Instead of having negative thoughts, I'd have positive thoughts. Instead of having sad thoughts, I'd have grateful thoughts. Instead of wishing for more, I'd be thankful for what I had. Man, I started to just change my attitude, my mindset, my inside of me. Right? Like my thought process, I changed it all. It allowed me to become such a better human being, live such a better life, and my life as a result got 10,000 times better. Simply because I took charge and I said, I'm not going to believe in this, I'm not going to believe in that, I'm going to do what I want. I think that's part of the reason why I'm here today. Right? Part of the reason why I was able to do what I did is because I didn't listen to other people. Everybody told me I was crazy. All my friends at university said, you're crazy. I remember them talking about how they hope after multiple years of working their job that they're going to make 100K one year. I'm like, dude, if I don't make 100K in a month by the next 2 years, I'm a fucking failure. They looked at me like I was crazy. They looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about, Stefan? That's ridiculous. That's what you make in a year, not in a month. I was like, dude, that's just when I start. That's me fucking starting, bro. Just you wait. They looked at me like I was crazy, like I was like a fucking psychopath. Well, maybe I am, but at least I'm a happy psychopath. I'm just fucking with y'all. But like, dude, they looked at me like I was crazy. So many people would talk behind my back, would say shit. I just didn't give a fuck anymore. I got so much hate. You know what hate shows? Hate shows you're doing something other people wish they could have done. Hate shows you're on the right track because people are envious of you because you are doing what they dream of doing and they just don't know how to do it. And so they're mad that you are living their dream life. Why do you think so many people hate on Elon Musk? Why do you think so many people hate on Andy Elliott? Why do you think so many people hate on all these big guys? Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, everybody hates on them. Why? Because they are living the life that they dreamed of having. And they'll know they'll never make it up there. Do you ever see big guys hating on big guys? Like, do you see Alex Hormozy hating on Jeff Bezos? No. He looks up to him. Do you see Andy Elliott making fun of Warren Buffett? No. So it's ironic that the big guys, okay, who know they're going to make it bigger and who are growing, don't make fun of these guys. You see, people only hate when they're less than you. And so if you're getting hate, you're doing something right. And so that's how I knew I was on the right track, because people started to hate. I was like, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right because people are starting to hate. People hate on my YouTube channel all the time. I'm like, I'm doing something right. And listen, my goal is to spread positivity and to inspire people not to have any hate at all. But listen, as much as I wish that that's the case, there's always going to be hate in this world. It's a very hate-filled world. That's the reality. I'm not an idealistic person. I'm a realistic person. I understand that's the reality of this life. So as much as I would love for everybody to love each other, that's not the reality of this world. So that's what we got to live by. But listen, hate is just a byproduct of you being successful. And so listen, I could sit here for the next hours and talk about how I hate the school system and how I hate depression and how I hate modern day society and how I hate modern day pharmaceutical companies and all these crappy things that just drag you down and make you feel worse about yourself and demotivate you and inspire you to become people that you don't want to be and to do all these horrible, horrific, terrible things to people. I could talk about this all day. I don't know if that would do us any good. Maybe it would. I'm not sure. Okay? But for now, I want to wrap this entire story up with saying, listen, let me be an inspiration to you. Okay? Let me be an inspiration that you can do whatever you want. You can do what you want if you just put your fucking mind to it. If you just sit down and work day in and day out, you will eventually get to where you want to go. I can promise you that. You just have to do the work required in order to get the actions you want. You just got to put the work in. Man, it's cliche. I know. But that's because that's how it is. You just got to put the work in, and I believe that every single one of you can do it. You can make it. I believe in you to do it. Why do I believe in you? Because I've done it. So many people looked at me and said, I don't think you can do it. Right? I am by definition an average person. My first language isn't even English. Like, my first language wasn't even English. Like, what the fuck? Right? Like, by definition, I'm an average person. I didn't win, like, yes, I've won trophies, I've won races, I've won tournaments, I've won awards, but like, I'm not a fucking Olympic athlete. I'm not playing in the NBA. Okay, I'm not a music composer. I'm by society an average person, and I was able to do this. So I know everybody else can too. Everybody can do it, and let my story be an inspiration, be an example that you can do what you want if you just put your mind to it. Now listen, I'm only getting started. This is only the start of my journey. There's so much more for me to gain. I know that. I'll look back on this 10 years ago, Stefan, you were nothing, and I'm like, I know I'm nothing, because to the places where I want to go right now, my position is insignificant. I'm not even happy with the amount of money I make, because that's not even my main focus. I know that the money I make right now is insignificant to the money I want to make in the future. And so I don't give a fuck about it. Because actually, this is a quote I heard. If you wouldn't care about it in 10 years from now, why do you care about it now? Seriously, if $10,000 in 10 years from now should be insignificant to you, you wouldn't care about it. Why care about it now? Why put this money on a pedestal? Don't, because in 10 years you won't look at it that way. So don't look at it that way now. If your feelings right now of you being sad because your girlfriend dumped you, if in 10 years you wouldn't give a fuck, don't give a fuck now. That's a thing I live by. It's like, if in 10 years I wouldn't give a fuck, why do I care about it now? If the money I'm making now is insignificant to what I want to make in 10 years, why would I care about it now? It's like, whatever, it is what it is. It's just part of the journey. Whether I lose it, whether I keep it or lose it, doesn't matter, because in 10 years, this will be insignificant. And so, I don't know if this video is going to get 2 views or 2,000 views, because the YouTube works in weird ways. But I wanted to make a real, authentic video to show you that this can be done. Anybody can do this. Okay, I went from being a nobody, your average individual, working a 9 to 5 at the bank, going to university, right? Doing what my parents wanted me to. They moved to Canada so that I could get a better education, and I dropped out. I went from being an average individual to making tens of thousands of fucking scaling a company to 6 figures in just a matter of months. And that's what I did in months. Imagine what I can do in years. I haven't even been in this game long enough at all. Like, imagine what I could do in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Imagine then. Like, I'm just getting started. And life's already great. So I can't imagine what life has to bring me. And I know it's going to bring me challenges. I pray to God every single day that He gives me challenges, that he makes me struggle and suffer, because that's what makes it worth having. That's what makes these dreams and goals we have so good, is because they're difficult. And so I pray every day that God gives me struggles and God puts me through tough situations so I can become a better person at the end of it. And so I just want to wrap this up by saying, man, you can do this. You can. I know you can. You have it in you. I know you do. Because I once was exactly where you were, and look where I'm at now. Insignificant to where I want to go, but still better place than I was before. And so I know everybody can make it out. Everybody can do what they want to do. And so I hope that my story can inspire you. I went from not talking English at all, talking zero English, to moving to Canada, to getting bullied all through elementary school, middle school, high school, even in university. I still got bullied for who knows what. I don't fucking know. For being different. For being different is why I got bullied. Like, what a stupid reason to get bullied for. It's the world we live in. Okay? And all of that, to move to Canada, to pursue a better education, all for me to drop out. Like, what a way to say fuck you to your parents, hey? I love my parents. But like, to them, they probably felt like I was saying fuck you. Because that's what it felt like to them. Because like, man, we did all this for you to do what? To build something that's nobody could ever envision. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay? So let my story be an inspiration. Let my story be a prime example that you can do what you want. It doesn't matter where you are in life. You can turn your life around just like that if you put your mind to it. All I ask is that you just don't give up. Don't let these negative thoughts, don't let society control how you think. Don't let your friends or even family members dictate how you're going to live your life, because it's your life. So you get to decide. So start thinking more positively, start taking action, start putting in the work, and man, listen, I promise you, if you can just do those things day in and day out, in 5 years from now, your life will completely change around. I hope that this video inspires somebody to be great, to be a better version of who they were yesterday, and to live a life filled with purpose. I love you all. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.